Video games and movies have always been locked in a battle. Both are art in their own right, but enthusiasts of both have often decried the value of the other in a quest to prove one is better than the other. Now, as Hollywood looks for another pool of content to develop post its superhero love affair, it seems like we are going to get a lot more than we ever have done before. With Mario and Mortal Kombat both getting sequels this year, a Sonic franchise getting a fourth entry soon, an Elden Ring movie in development from Alex Garland, another Silent Hero movie in the franchise, and even a Zack Cregger Resident Evil film on the horizon, is this a new golden age for video game movie adaptations? So without further ado, grab a cup of tea and let's take 15 minutes and talk about video game adaptations. So Sam, video game movie adaptations, let's give it a talk, shall we? They seem to be everywhere at the moment. Let's start. What's your favourite? What's your worst? What's the history of the video game movie adaptation?
It is a long and winding road. I would say video game adaptations have struggled since the beginning of its run, which I think most people would agree is Mario.
Yep.
With
1993
with Bob Hoskins.
Yep.
And John Leguizamo?
I thought it was Leguizamo.
Leguizamo.
Yeah.
So yeah, I would say since the beginning it has basically struggled to find its place in Hollywood. My theory is that Hollywood has probably been scared by the power of the video game and thought, well, you know, this stuff's going to be absolutely enormous. Let's hold it back for 10 years. So just made purposely terrible films out of these adaptations.
Because for a really long time, like the video game adaptation was always seen as kind of the bottom of the barrel in some instances.
Yeah.
Like if you go to after '93, so you've got Street Fighter, the Jean-Claude Van Damme movie, which notoriously, is more of a cult following than anything else. It's a guilty pleasure for me. Lara Croft's had a couple of adaptations now. Again, have a soft spot for Lara Croft Tomb Raider 1. But everything else hasn't done that well. Even if you look at things like Doom, you look at Silent Hill, you look at Alone in the Dark, really bad Christian Slater movie. There's been so many movie adaptations which just aren't that great. But tide seems to be turning.
Yes, I would say that Detective Pikachu was the first film in my memory that came out where the reviews, they weren't only not very negative, they were mildly positive.
Agree. Yeah.
The power of Ryan Gosling and the power of Ryan Reynolds kind of knowing from his post-Deadpool fame what projects will hit home.
Yeah.
And it's a film that shouldn't have made any sense, but it did. And that kind of began this era of people kind of treating it with the respect that it deserves, both as a film and a adaptation of a video game.
Yeah. Kind of feels like now people are starting to understand how can we take the narratives of a video game and turn it into a movie.
Yeah.
Because I think that's always the thing that's always historically struggled with is, do you just recreate cutscenes? Because I think, you and I are both fans of the medium. We like video games. We've grown up on video games. And so I think a big part of the ingredient within the video game adaptation is gameplay is a big part of story. It's a big part of narrative. It's a very interactive medium in that sense, in as much as your actions and what you do in the game influences how you feel about the narrative.
Its immersion is unique.
Exactly. So as soon as you start to remove that immersion, that gameplay, that kind of tactility of a video game, you then have to kind of let it kind of stand on its own legs, the narrative. And the problem is that then if you can't adapt that to work within the framework of a movie, set it up well, make it sure that you've got right motives and character arcs and so on and so forth. Not to say that those things don't exist, but they exist in a different way and in a different kind of medium in some aspects.
I would say video games, the other way round, it kind of worked early on. Like GoldenEye, the video game, is considered an absolute classic of that era. Yeah. I remember the Die Hard games being quite successful.
Yeah. Because originally it used to be video games used to be tied into a movie's release. Yeah. So a big movie was coming out, let's release a tie-in franchise.
Bond was defined by that. And that went on for a long time. There were Godfather films. There was even a Godfather video game. There was even a Sopranos video game.
Yeah.
A brilliant...
24. had like a weird like board game video game that was weird.
Yeah. Scarface is probably one of my favourite examples of that.
Yeah.
They did a sort of sequel if Tony Montana survived, and then it basically turned into Vice City. And I was blown away by that game. It's probably about 20 years old now.
Yeah.
My favourite video game adaptation, going back to your first point, very hard question. I mean, I would probably say overall it's Fallout, which I know is a TV show. And I think that
we'll talk about that in a minute. I mean, sticking to films.
Or just
you
films.
said that Sonic the Hedgehog is a pretty high up on your list.
Well,
right?
I mean, Jim Carrey is like the guy.
Yeah.
It's just whoever, one of the great casting choices of the 21st century.
Yeah.
Making him play Dr. Robotnik. I find the question quite hard, really, because I kind of cheat. Like AVP, that was a video game, wasn't it?
I don't know. No?
I think that was. I think that
It's a video game of the two franchises come together.
it was a comic book, and I'm pretty sure it was a video game.
Okay.
And then they made it into a film because of the success of Freddy vs. Jason.
Yeah.
That feels like a video game. That also feels like a video game adaptation.
Yeah.
It's really hard to pinpoint what is my absolute favourite.
Yeah.
But I mean, as I say, I probably avoided most of them. Like I remember just everyone that would get announced, you'd think, well, that's gonna just make me feel less. The Halo TV show was like a low point. Like Assassin's Creed, I didn't love Assassin's Creed, but that just
movie was terrible.
That just bored me.
That was not a good film. So I suppose then that brings me to my next point. Do you think video game narratives work for the big screen?
Big screen is still up for debate.
Yeah.
I think like the Sonic films work because Sonic is not like a horribly thought-provoking process to do.
There's also not a lot of plot.
There's not a lot of plot. It's just a lot of fun.
Yeah.
It's literally designed for children. Like stuff like The Last of Us and Fallout, where it's either like an open world or a hugely expansive narrative. They need a more delicate approach. So TV kind of fits them more.
I think it's all about the approach, though, right? Like when it comes down to it, it's not necessarily because when you look at those wider, expansive video games, you've got hundreds of storylines, mini storylines, side quests, and all of that that you can kind of pull the threads of. And I suppose it's finding that right one. So from an adaptation point of view, it's finding the thing that works, that overall narrative. Because actually, a video game normally has much more going on than just start here, end here.
Yeah.
You've got 90 minutes to tell that story. This could be 20, 30, 40 hours of storyline and gameplay, possibly even more than that in some instances. But so I suppose it's just hard. I suppose is it just a case then of things not being necessarily adapted correctly?
No, I don't think they've been treated with the right approach for decades.
Yeah.
I mean, they always chop. I mean, until probably The Last of Us, everything would be massively chopped and changed.
Yeah.
I mean, Halo was like a disaster, really, because they just basically said, well, we're going to use Halo and all its sort of like plot devices, but then make it an alternate reality, and then the Master Chief will take his helmet off every 5 seconds. But Halo is an interesting one because I feel like Halo, even thinking it as a child, has so much potential because it's so cinematic as a game. And at some point, if someone will get the Halo franchise right, and I think that might be a big moment for the big screen, just create like a massive like film series of the Halo franchise, I think would be a brilliant step. I think there's no doubt they'll probably make a Fallout, maybe because Fallout and The Last of Us are established as very good, maybe they'll test them with a film, maybe. But I think on the big screen, it hasn't had its like masterpiece.
Yeah.
It's had very good in the last like 6-7 years, but it needs its like big moment. And it's had its breakthrough in TV. Film, I don't know.
Yeah. So that's kind of where we were going to go next then, in terms of high-profile movies, which are now might be those tentpoles, right? We mentioned the idea that there are now bigger filmmakers coming onto these franchises, be them video game fans who then just want to make a movie, or they've just been intrigued and enticed by perhaps a slightly larger paycheck. But we're now starting to see people get attached to these things. At the moment, the high-profile movies, which are kind of being shortlisted or are coming out in the next few months, we mentioned obviously, well, like things like Mortal Kombat 2 and stuff like that exist now. They're their own mini franchises. But I think over the next 12, 24 months, we will see adaptations of a new Street Fighter movie. Legend of Zelda's getting a live-action movie. Call of Duty apparently has got something going on. Battlefield's got something going on. Ghost of Tsushima, which is a PlayStation exclusive game. Helldivers, which is ironic because Helldivers is basically Starship Troopers, so they're going to be making weirdly like a Starship Troopers clone, like video, like it's going to be the same, very similar. So Helldivers is getting it. The Sims is getting something. It's been attached to Margot Robbie. Like perhaps are we going to see something like, you know, Barbie or something like that. Death Stranding is essentially its own mini movie in a video game format. That's been rumoured to get a film adaptation because Hideo Kojima is like a huge movie buff. Yeah. Gears of War is apparently going to get a movie as well. Like I think they're saying it's either like attached to like Apple or Amazon or something like that. And so they're looking into that. BioShock has been rumoured for years to be getting a movie adaptation. If you go back to older movies like Outrun, but then you've got things like Split Fiction, which was a co-op game that came out like a few years ago. That's thinking about getting.
I think so many of these.
Resident Evil's coming back.
Well, Resident Evil is the big one.
They're the big ones, so, but it seems to be, and obviously the big one actually that's not on the list, but is the one to mention, or the two to mention really, because that's what kind of made me think of the question. Zach Cregger's Resident Evil and Alex Garland's Elden Ring. Yeah. Like, they are two huge names that are very well established in what they're currently doing.
The box office and the critical reception of Resident Evil will be very interesting. Yeah. Because obviously, I mean, Mario, I think collectively both those films have made $2 billion, but they're both not critical darlings.
The first one was definitely, the second one I think has been much, much more derided than the first one.
Well, I think Illumination has a big part to play in that.
Sequel problem,
yeah. But Resident Evil, obviously, that has been I mean, again, I think the first two films under Paul S. Anderson? W.S. Anderson are like watchable and quite nostalgic.
Also, what a name, right? Like, if you're going to have a movie name, slightly parody someone who's really good, right? My name is Spielberg.
Senor Spielberg.
The Simpsons joke, right? Like, so it's that type of thing.
Christoph Nolan.
Nolano.
But no, I think the Resident Evil, the box office return of that will be very, very interesting.
Well, because I know the buzz around that Resident Evil now is kind of really mixed. Like, it's a Zach Cregger movie, and I think off the back of Weapons, he's still got obviously a lot of goodwill with film fans. But I know the big thing at the moment is people saying this doesn't feel like a Resident Evil movie. This is like almost like you've taken it, and to be fair, he has come out and said, no, I'm very much been inspired by Resident Evil. Yeah. This isn't a Resident Evil movie, but it's been inspired by it. So don't go in it, I don't think, expecting that type of thing. I wonder if Alex Garland will do the same thing with Elden Ring, because Elden Ring is huge, massively expansive.
I feel like Alex Garland would be a really good person to herald this kind of era in, because he's obsessed with video games. Like, 28 Days Later was really inspired by Doom.
Okay.
There's a really interesting interview on YouTube where he sort of goes into his video game fascination. Yeah. So he would be probably a good one to herald it in, because you got to remember, like, video game adaptations back in the day, they were greenlit by studios. None of them had played video games. Yeah. Like, none of them. They probably thought video games were a joke, which is why I say at the beginning, I feel like they just made these things just sort of to show the world that these are terrible. And then you just sort of associate them with that.
Oh, I see. Almost like kind of...
Like sabotage.
Like sabotage. Yeah. Oh, okay.
Yeah. Because they probably saw, this is going to kill us eventually. Yeah. And it is. The video game industry makes...
The video game industry is bigger than music, movies, and stuff like that combined.
Yeah. So I think they were smart at the time, but now they're probably thinking, we made our money when we could.
I think that's where they're going to start mining this, right? The superhero love has kind of gone a little bit, and now it's time to find something else to dig. And so at the moment, every game is getting some sort of first look, or studios are kind of signing it up to do video game adaptations of it. But I suppose that brings me then to my final question. Do you think then we're in a new age of video game adaptations?
Oh, we're definitely in a new age.
Yeah,
because
best is yet to come.
Once you crack open a good one, then everything just sort of flows, doesn't it? Yeah. It's like superheroes. They were like teasing with Blade, and Spider-Man was good, but then Iron Man came out, and then the rest just followed. Yeah. They kind of found a template to follow. Yeah. And I don't know where we've had that with the film video game adaptation, but it's coming.
Yeah.
And it could be this year with Resident Evil.
Yeah.
So it's an exciting time.
But it's going to be very different, though. I think it's what's interesting about it is we might end up with a really, really good, interesting Resident Evil movie that technically has nothing to do with the Resident Evil game.
True. But if it makes money, then people will just associate that with...
Yeah, because I think that's the thing. I wonder if Hollywood now are starting to look through the lens of, I don't think we need to please video game fans here now.
No.
Because the audience for the Last of Us TV show, for instance, is very different to the audience of the game. And so I think they recognise the fact that actually we can take this and speak to a different audience, and that is absolutely fine.
Yeah.
So I wonder if we'll get that. We'll get a really good movie adaptation of a video game. Whether or not it's actually true to that video game, I think will be really interesting discussion.
Yeah, video game will be it's like the new book.
Absolutely.
It's basically, we're in for an exciting era of nostalgia, but we will be there being like, well, they didn't do this in the video game.
Yeah,
They
definitely didn't do this, and he walked a little bit too fast.
Yeah,
and all that stuff,
I always hated watching films with people who liked the novel, and they were like, well, this isn't the truth.
It's the same thing,
and now I will be that person.
Exactly. Brilliant. Okay, well, let us know your thoughts on the best and worst video game adaptations in the comment section below. Please follow us now. We've got a new Instagram account, so please find us on all the socials. I say all the socials, the one social that we're a part of. If you like what you heard, please feel free to give us a subscribe, a follow, a like, anything else that you can think of. For now, though, take care, and we'll see you soon.
Bye.